The Call Me Successful podcast, Connect series brought to you by Sell By Legal.
Cindy Cash, welcome to Call Me Successful.
Thank you.
It's amazing to have you. Thank you so much for the yes. I've been interviewing some amazing people, and we're here, obviously here at the Connect conference. You're a couple of awards last night. You're doing big things down your way in Richmond, so North Richmond. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself quickly, just like a brief elevator, I guess, of you, what you've been doing the last, say, 10 years?
Yeah, 18 years. Okay, so I've been with Ray White for 23.
Yep.
13 years sales support. 10 years in as a salesperson.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, and 3 of those as a principal. So now I own the business in North Richmond.
How did you find the transition moving into leadership, into running businesses, obviously being an agent and administration, as you're saying? Did you go out of your way to develop more skills in leadership, or was that just come naturally?
I think it came naturally from watching the people that I worked for and just doing a lot of things, going to all the training sessions, listening to podcasts, following top performers, working for a couple of top performers. And I kind of eased my way into it. Everything just kind of felt like a natural flow and transition. I didn't feel like I had to really jump too far.
Well, that sounds pretty cruisy.
Yeah.
I'm sure it wasn't.
Doesn't it? It's not, yeah, well.
How have you found that real estate in your life has evolved over the last 20 years up until now? Are you finding that there's big changes? And are you seeing that it's like in the last couple of years, it's almost doubling and tripling in terms of technology and advancements? What have you seen in the last 20 years?
Yeah, well, even with Ray White, like when we first started, it didn't have anywhere near the technology that we had, and to see that evolve with all of the different systems that we now have and the internet, we didn't have any of those things when I started. I don't even remember how we used to put ads in the paper. Like we used to just take a photo with our camera.
Yeah.
Like I said, I still can't even remember how we actually did it, but everything went in magazines or newspapers. There was no social media. There was no websites to view things. Everything's just so quick and simple now.
Yeah. Well, how important was networking 20 years ago? Was it just being at every function, being at every event, being at the cafes? How did you do it?
So important.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'm known in the Ray White group as one of the people that attend pretty much everything. Like I'll agree to the opening of an envelope basically. So only because honestly, I started sales at 49. I never ever in my wildest dreams expected that I'd be doing this sort of thing. Never in my wildest dreams.
I love to hear that, because I find that a lot of people feel rushed to be successful. They think by the time that they're not, a millionaire at 30, that they're almost failing, or they shouldn't have gone and traveled and that sort of thing. So what's your advice on that? Is that anyone can have a go at any point? Or?
Well, money was never my goal.
Yep.
Ever. I came from very humble beginnings. I didn't go to private school. I did my school certificate. I went to TAFE and did a secretarial course. Yep. I had 4 children and helped my husband with his business, and I was a fitness instructor and a legal secretary, and I kind of just fell into real estate. My grandfather had investment properties. I was always interested in it, but it was just something that kind of just happened. And I remember the question you asked me now.
No, that's fine. That's perfect. No. What makes you stand out? I think the stats are 60,000 agents in Australia and in New Zealand. There's a lot. And 20% of the business, or 80% of the business comes from 20% of the agents, essentially. You're obviously in that pool. What's the difference working with Cindy over someone else? And what have you learned that you could probably pass on to associates or up-and-coming agents coming through?
Yeah, well, I think initially, I suppose my point of difference, I worked for a couple of top-performing women, and at that time I thought being a woman was probably a point of difference in itself.
Yep.
Only because we have different things that we bring to the table than men. And I think that was a nice point of difference, but I don't think that would have got me to where I am on its own.
Sure.
I think it's also, we are in a very small community. It's only an hour from Sydney, but it's almost like a little rural community, but it's not. It's Sydney Metro. The people there, they demand authenticity. You've got to be empathetic. You've got to care. If you don't care about the people in our area, like it's not like other areas. It's not a churn and burn type of a market. We have to, give a lot of time and I mean, I suppose it's not similar to every market, but we have to give a lot of time and effort into nurturing people and building relationships. And I think, getting back to your question of networking, within the Ray White group, I've networked a lot. So I know a lot of the top principals, and the people that are still there, I've known for a really long time, and it's wonderful to constantly see them. Network in my own community, like having relationships with local restaurant owners and, people who talk to other people that they're going to talk about you, and having advocates in every single area of Yeah.
Yeah. How important do you find is community marketing in terms of sponsoring the local footy club or, buying coffees on a Friday for the local cafe, all these sort of things? Is it super important? And what do you do in your market that has helped, build community, but also your business?
Yeah, when I first started, because we opened the business in North Richmond 10 years ago, it wasn't my business then, but I straight away aligned myself with the local school. And I used to do barbecues and we used to do fundraising things. And then over time, I now sponsor, my two boys play for North Richmond Cricket Club. So I sponsor the cricket club. I sponsor a couple of netball teams. We sort of show up for Pink Fins, which is a supportive role for people with cancer, particularly women. And I think that people expect you to give back. They don't expect you just to take and not give back. And it's not something that I would ever even think about not doing. Like if people ask me, I find it very hard to say no. Like my team are always saying, Cindy, you've overspent your budget. You need to calm down. Because literally you get asked to do everything, like a motorbike club wants to travel overseas for something, it's like, well, I can't do everything.
Yeah.
But, I pick the ones that I think are most important. Well, to me personally too, like the school and the cricket club and the netball, like that all has relationships to my family and what my children did. And, that's something that
Yeah, I worked with an agent actually. So when I started with Ray White AKG, we came in with a plan of, okay, who are we going to sponsor and how are we going to maximize that? And one example is an agent that we worked with. He was like, oh, look, everyone sponsors the local AFL club, but I don't really like AFL and I can't really see myself going to local footy because I don't really like it. And we said, well, what do you like? And he goes, I really like MMA. Well, that's a whole community in itself. So if that's what you're doing and that's what you love and you want to be involved and you'd go there on a weekend and train with the guys and be a part of it, they'll appreciate your support, giving back and putting your logo on the jumpers. It'll look cool. Plus, you'll actually be there and be supportive. So I'm assuming it'll be the same. You're there with your kids. You love being there. It's like, I'm sure it brings a bit of a smile to your face to be involved in such a thing.
Yeah. And I mean, we even do like barbecues as a team with the preschools at Christmas time. Like we have about probably 3 or 4 preschools every Christmas that we actually go and do the barbecue for them.
Very
and all the
nice.
team gets there and, like we don't put our, we don't make it a big about us, it's just about just getting there and helping out wherever we can,
Can you cook? Are you on the barbecue?
Well, like I can cook, but my husband does it.
Okay, sure.
Actually, Megan and my husband does it. Yeah, it's not. I actually don't. They always laugh at me because I kind of waltz in because I'm always busy and I run late. And they've set it all up and they've got the sausages cooking and I walk in. They say, "Stick on the apron." Okay, let's get a photo. Then I just walk around and talk to people.
Yep.
I actually don't actually cook.
Yeah,
I serve though. I like to serve people and then I can chat.
Yeah, I love it.
I love a chat.
Obviously, this part of this podcast is like, what is success? And I think actually what you're saying, a lot of people come back to something like this is to the point of being able to give back to the community. So I had a great conversation with my mate a few months ago who's currently sailing on a yacht around the world. God, what a life. And he goes, geez, the dream is really after this is to be the lollipop man at the school and kind of just,
That's
do
really
this
funny.
and just relax and go, come on through here. And, I thought that's amazing. So what's your definition of success? What does it even look like?
Yeah, it's like I had to really think about that question because I thought, well, you don't need to be incredibly talented. You don't need a degree. You don't need any specific even amount of money to be successful. You just have to start with something, a passion and a drive and tenacity. And for me, it was never the money was the driver. It was because I'm naturally a curious person. I get bored with doing things that I feel like I've mastered. So I needed something to elevate myself the way through my career. So I guess success for me at the end of it is, I guess, I just feel very fulfilled. I feel like happy. I love what I do. And so it's not like it's ever an effort to do it.
Yep.
And to be able to help my family, my children, and to be able to give things to people and to also enjoy it. Like I never imagined that I would be going on a European holiday, I didn't do it until I was 50. That was the first time I went to Europe.
Yep.
It was a dream I had at 18. I never thought I'd ever be able to afford it.
Yeah.
So, it's just, I guess all those little childhood dreams that you have that you don't necessarily think will ever actually come to fruition, you find yourself there and it's like, I didn't even plan this. It's just I do what I do because I love what I do.
Yeah, amazing. It probably helps, I think, as that work-life balance argument is like a lot of people would say there is no such thing. However, if you do enjoy every step and every second of what you're doing, then it's probably a lot easier to just get up every day and make the phone calls, talk to people and do what you do. Do you find that's how it works?
Yeah, and I mean, I've never shied away from the things that I don't really. Well, I didn't love. Who loves door knocking? You know what I mean? I mean, maybe some people do, but it wasn't my thing. I did it though.
Yeah.
Because you got to start with something. Same as making the calls. A lot of people don't want to make the calls. They'll use every excuse not to do it, but you just have to do it. So I think, yeah, and also I've got a really supportive family and my work family. I've got an amazing team and my children. Everyone helps me through all of the highs and the lows because there's a lot of highs, but there's lows, and people don't see that. They see a successful person and they never know the backstory. There's always a backstory. There's always struggles and disappointments and things you had to do that you dragged yourself around. Like, you know, when people say to me, oh, it's raining, I can't go out and letterbox job, but we'll get an umbrella, you know, like nice. I never made an excuse for anything. I don't ever see barriers in front of me, or if I do, my husband quickly knocks them out of the way and says, stop putting up walls, just power through it. So
do you have a story that kind of was a mindset changer for you, like a shifter where you're like, okay, this was probably the pivotal moment for me that I realized I could do what I'm doing now and maybe never get to Europe, or if I put my head down, this is probably going to happen for me and I can see this, you know, escalating to something bigger?
Yeah, I'd say probably like it's always in the beginning, because when I went from being a sales support after 13 years and thought I'm going to give sales a go, like I was 49 years old. I didn't have any particular aspiration or thought about where it was going to take me. And we started the business, I think it was August, September, and then we had the recognition year in the end of June, and I made Emerging Elite. And I thought, and I got invited to an Emerging Elite conference. I didn't even know what that was. You know, I'm like, I'm going to Melbourne. I didn't even know why, you know, and it was just one thing after another. Then I was Elite, then I made Chairman's, and then I didn't get Chairman's a year, which was really good. It's a good thing to not actually get everything, because I lost out. I was $60,000. I missed out on Chairman. So you can imagine how that feels. But that actually also gave me, I suppose, the realization. I mean, I always had known that you can never actually you can't take anything for granted. You can't ever, you know, you just always have to work hard. And people think when you get to a point of being a Chairman Elite that it's easier, but it's harder because you get to capacity then. And that's when you have to build a team. And that's, I suppose, the pivotal thing for me was acknowledging that. And teams were not that popular when I first started doing a team. Like Megan has been with me for 6 years, and we started running a team 6 years ago. And that wasn't as big a thing as it is now. Now, like pretty much everyone does it. Yep. But it was a very pivotal point for me to realize that I can't do everything, and I don't need to do everything. I've got some very, very capable people that I completely trust that work with me, and I gave them that, you know, ability. So that was pivotal, I think, because that was the year that we did our best. There was myself, Megan, and Amy and Michael. And it was the year of COVID, but it was, you know, a little, I don't know what you probably don't know the Hawkesbury, but it's not a very high turnover area. So the fact that year we did over 3.5 million in GCI and we did 170 something transactions came so out of the blue. At that point, I think we were all in such a shock that happened that I didn't think, you know, it was ever possible.
Yeah. And how do you get time to sit back into that and go, geez, I'm proud of my work. I'm grateful for where I've got to. Like, do you give yourself a moment? Is there every day, every week?
Well, you know, I think you shouldn't celebrate for too long, because I think you don't want your ego to get in the way, because, you know, like with anything, like you can be the number one cricketer and 1 minute you're there and next minute you're not. You know, it's like anything in life. So you can't take any of that for granted. You celebrate it, you acknowledge it, you thank the people that were part of it, but then you just get back into it and you put your foot back on the accelerator and just keep working. So that's really important. I think you can't let your head get in the way, because really it's a people industry. You have to be there for the people. If you're not humble and authentic and you don't genuinely care about them, they don't think they don't believe you. You know, they have to trust you. So you have to really care about people.
Yeah, I love it. So one of my favorite questions I like to ask people is, like, if you have, it's hypothetically speaking, and this is essentially a metaphor for this podcast, but if you were standing on a milk crate, you know, in the middle of a festival somewhere, and you got to stand up and you said, hey, hello, everyone, my name's Cindy, and this is my message.
Yeah.
Let's put it more so into real estate. This is my message. Everyone listen to this. This is what you should be doing, in my experience. What do you say?
You mean as a real estate agent?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, I think, well, you have to be prepared for hard work. You've got to be very tenacious. You've got to be passionate. And I think you've got to know why you're doing it. Because I think if you're only doing it for the money, you're going to not actually you're going to forget about the people.
Yeah.
You have to actually really genuinely care about people, I think, to make it work. I like people with a lot of attention to detail too. That's something that I really value, is people that apply a lot of attention to detail, that I don't have to worry that they're doing it. I don't have to micromanage them.
Yep.
So there is a certain, I think it was one of the questions before, like it's definitely a personality type more than a skill set. You can train someone how to do something, but you can't teach them the very essence of what you stand for.
Yeah.
And, you have to know what you stand for.
What is that personality that is successful in real estate, do you think? Obviously, you've been in this for 20 plus years.
Yeah.
Have you seen, is there a certain type of personality you think that is genuinely or generally more successful than others?
Mostly, yeah. The ones that stay in for the longevity of it, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
There might be some who come and go, who they fly in, they look fantastic and then it all comes unstuck. But I think for the ones like I look at Dave Walker and Vivian and Gavin and, now Oliver, I remember talking to Oliver ages ago. Like, I don't think he ever aspired to being what he is. He's incredible. And Gavin's back, where he was. He's built the business. It's an amazing business. But Vivian over in Western Australia, like I look at those people and I just think like they are, and Dave Walker, he's another one. Like they're just such lovely, humble, kind, caring, but still hardworking people. Like they're the people that you'd want to follow. They're the people that you would just put up on a pedestal, and they're the people that I look at.
Sure. Yeah, I've had the pleasure of actually interviewing a lot of those people, and they seem very grounded and relaxed, and they're just happy to be there. The likes of some of these people, like Alex Jordan, for example, what I loved about him is multi-million-dollar writer. He's such a busy man. But we had this podcast, and then he had 20 minutes to sit there and go, oh, that was nice. So, talk about me, how's life and what's going on? I was like, man, there's the genuine care for human connection from these people that have been ultra successful.
Yeah, and I think when you said something about it before, and I can't remember whether you're relating to yourself, but I've often said to my husband, like if I wasn't doing this, I'd probably be just as happy being a yoga teacher.
Nice.
That's another thing I want to do when I give up real estate. I was a fitness instructor for 35 years, but I never just completely studied yoga because that's a whole thing, or Pilates, So me, honestly, I'm happy doing anything that I actually love to do and I feel really passionate about. So it's not necessarily someone's going to make a lot of money, but I guess you have the freedom. You have more freedom, obviously. I mean, this job gives me the freedom, and I guess that's maybe why we are a bit more relaxed, because we don't have to worry about paying the bills, and that's a very privileged position to be in, because we weren't there at one stage.
Yeah.
Like we had all, I remember there was times when we had our 4 kids and we had $20 to buy food for the week. So we've definitely come from much worse situation than we're in, but I never 1 minute ever take that for granted.
Yeah, that's remarkable. That's amazing. I share your passion of yoga. I've started the last month once a week, and I'm realizing that even trying to touch my toes, and my back just doesn't even bend anymore. So I'll be coming to your classes for sure. Let me know when that's available. See, now I'm going to wrap it up here. Thank you so much for your time. I'm very appreciative. It's been a massive Connect weekend, and congratulations on the awards. And thank you so much for coming on the Call Me Successful podcast.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
You're amazing.
Yeah.
Thanks, Cindy.
Thank you.